The next category of microorganisms is algae. They are unicellular or multicellular eukaryotic organisms. They may be microscopic as well as macroscopic. So this include both unicellular and multicellular organisms which are capable of photosynthesis. So all algae are photoautotropic. That means they use light as a source of energy to generate their own food. Phycology, it is a science that deals with the study of algae, which is also named as algology. So as it was mentioned that they are photoautotropic, but there are few which may show heterotropic mode of nutrition. So during photosynthesis, they produce oxygen and carbon dioxide. They produce oxygen and they use CO2 as a source of carbon, as usually it is a characteristic of photoautotropic organisms. So algae lack vascular system and cellular differentiation, unlike that of photosynthetic higher plants, to transport nutrients. That means the food conducting tissue and water conducting tissue, these specialized type of tissues, differentiated tissues are present in plants, whereas these types of tissue differentiation or vascular system, it is not present in algae, and that is the major difference that distinguishes algae from plants. But the common thing is that both are photosynthetic. Usually algae are found in most of the places wherever moisture and sunlight is available. So mostly in aquatic environment, lakes, ponds, rivers, streams, reservoirs. They are found in soil, trees, in tropical rainforest. There are few algae which are having ability to grow at very high temperature, as high as 50 degrees Celsius, like they are present in hot water springs. Their cellular organization, so they have eukaryotic cellular organization. We have already studied what are the characteristics of eukaryotic cell. Only the part that is to be mentioned, the difference between plant cell and this algal cell, or the plants and algae, is xylem and phloem are absent, which are the characteristics of vascular plants. So that kind of vascular system is not present in algae. There are certain single cell algae which may have different shapes like oval to spherical, rod shape, or any regular geometric shape that can be seen in case of diatoms. Algal cell, it has cell wall, cytoplasmic membrane, and all the essential cytoplasmic inclusions. The important one is chloroplast, responsible for the harvesting of light due to presence of light harvesting pigments. Another important characteristic is the cell wall of algae. This is very important. Cell wall of algae, it consists of polysaccharides that contains pectin and cellulose, and along with that certain other substances are also present. That includes calcium, galactans, and some other mucilaginous compounds. So mucilaginous compounds are basically very useful. These are jelly like substances and which finds application in several industries that we'll see in next few slides. The mode of nutrition, so they are photoautotrophs. Their main source of energy is sunlight and carbon dioxide as a source of carbon. They may or may not need inorganic materials or inorganic mineral salts as a source of nitrogen, phosphorus, and trace elements. Some of these algae may require vitamins as well. They possess chlorophyll pigment which are required for the process of photosynthesis, as well as accessory pigments. So these accessory pigments are responsible for imparting color to the algae. That is why distinctive colors of many algae is because of the presence of these accessory pigments. So therefore they may have red color, brown color, green color, or different distinctive colors. The cells of algae possess membrane-bound photosynthetic apparatus, that is chloroplast, which is responsible for uh, harboring the chlorophyll pigments, which is a major photosynthetic pigment. So these pigments are of different types: chlorophyll, a light harvesting pigment, and accessory pigments which are responsible for distinguished color and photosynthesis. Chlorophyll A, there are five different types of chlorophylls: chlorophyll A, B, C, D, and E. These chlorophyll are present in all algae. Second type of pigment is carotenoids. They are of two types: carotenes and xanthophyls. So these are the accessory pigments, chlorocarotenoids. Third type of pigment is bilioproteins. So these are water soluble pigments, and these are only present in few classes of algae, that include cyanophyta, rhodophyta, and cryptophyta. The motility characteristics. So few of the algae are in their life cycle, few cells of algae, they may show motile characteristics, like in case of the life cycle of cyanophyta and rhodophyta. The flagella are found all in all other divisions of algae. So apart from these two, other motile forms are present in different classes of algae. Reproduction, that which is a part of life cycle of algae, there are two modes of reproduction: asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. In case of asexual reproduction, most of the algae, they reproduce by the method of filamentous algae, they reproduce by the method of fragmentation. We have already learned what fragmentation means. Few algae, they may undergo fission, that may involve multiple fission, means a single cell gives rise to more than two daughter cells, which is called as multiple fission. So in general, being an eukaryotic organism, unicellular algae, they divide by the process of mitosis, that involves the nuclear division, and as a result of this reproduction, there may be production of different types of spores, which are called as zoospores, autospores, oxospores, or planospores, etc., which are the result of majority is the result of sexual reproduction in algae. Sexual reproduction, it occurs in few algae, that includes the fusion of male and female thalli, or the gametes, that leads to formation of diploid zygote, and it is followed by the processes as we have learned in case of fungi: uh, plasmogamy, karyogamy, and meiosis, that leads to the production of sexual spores, that involves zygospores and carpospores. So above mentioned spores, which are zoospores, autospores, oxospores, aplanospores, are asexual spores, and zygospores and carpospores are sexual spores. Now the classification of algae, we are not going into the too much detailed classification, but the basis of classification, means the basis on which uh, there are different classes of algae that we can see, are photosynthetic pigments, the nature of food storage compounds, the nature of cell wall compounds, the type of flagella, and detailed cellular structure. So these characteristics are responsible for the division of algae. Like the first division is brown algae, that is phaeophyta, or they are also called as kelp. The unique characteristic of this algae is that their size, they are macroscopic, they can be as big as a few meters, approximately 50 meters, so they are quite big comparable to plants. Most are found in coastal waters. They are multicellular and they contain chlorophyll A and C, then accessory pigments, xanthophyls. Examples you need to remember: laminaria, fucus, ascophyllum, and sargassum. Second class is red algae. So the names are given based on the presence of the color pigment. Division is rhodophyta. Most are multicellular filamentous. Chlorophyll A and phycobilins are present along with chlorophyll B. These red algae are found in greater ocean depths. So the red pigment, it enables the red algae to absorb the blue light, so which penetrates deep into the oceans, and therefore the habitat of these oceans, these algae, it occurs in the deepest portions of the ocean. So that is because of the absorbance of blue light, which is necessary for photosynthesis using the red color pigment. Examples are Gracilaria, chondrus, and Gelidium. Third one is green algae. Division is chlorophyta. They are unicellular as well as multicellular filamentous organisms. They contain chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. Green algae, they have cellulose in their cell wall, and also it contains starch granules as a storage food. Examples, common examples as we know are Spirogyra, Chlamydomonas, Chlorella, Volvox. Then the very important class is diatoms. Division Bacillariophyta. Diatoms are brownish colored unicellular algae. This is very important. They are unicellular. They contain chlorophyll A, C, carotene, and xanthophylls. Storage material is oil droplets. Now, the important characteristic of diatoms is that the cell wall is made up with pectin, and there is presence of silica, which is very important characteristic. Cell wall consists of silica, and these diatoms occur in a variety of shapes. Now, the shells of diatoms are called as frustules, so which are the deposits of silica, sand. So when these diatoms die, whatever the biological material is there, it undergoes degradation, and their skeletons, they get deposited into onto the soil. So skeleton is made up with silica. This forms the diatomaceous earth. So this diatomaceous earth is used as filter aid for the filtration purpose, filtration of fruit juices, filtration of swimming pool water, etc. Fifth class is dinoflagellates, that is division Dinoflagellata. They are unicellular and brownish colored. They contain chlorophyll C and A. Along with that, it contains carotene and xanthines, and the storage material is starch. Next, more familiar class is euglenoids. Division is Euglenophyta. They are green colored unicellular forms. They contain chlorophyll A and B and carotene. The important characteristic is that euglenoids lack cell wall. There is absence of cell wall, but have a semi-rigid plasma membrane called as pellicle, just like protozoa. That is why they are more confused, or they are mistaken as protozoa. And they move by means of flagella at the front end. Example, Euglena, Stromomonas, and Eutriptiella. This is a beautiful picture of